Don't stop, get it, get it. Little test, test, 1, 2, 3. Everybody, eyes on me. Oh my god, it spins.
Let's go.
Yep, that's me.
Yep, that's me.
Hey, long time no chat. Yeah, I suck. What is up, guys? My name's Idelson, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Maybe you're new here, maybe you're not, but either way, glad to see ya. So, my name's Aaron. I'm from New York. I go to school in Boston. I'm 21 and I've been living in LA for the entire summer. I moved out here on June 5th and it is now August 23rd and I fly home back to New York in about 9 hours. Naturally, I set up this cute little filming spot and then I don't film a single video while I'm here. So last summer, I actually also lived in LA for the first time ever. So basically last summer, I made a recap video just talking about like what I did, what it was like, because I know LA is like the hot spot. It's like where everybody wants to move and it's where everything is happening. And so I just want to provide like an insight on like what my time in LA was like. This video compared to the last video, I think it's gonna be really interesting to see how much I've grown over the past year. Since I last lived in LA, I moved to Spain for 4 months. I spent time in Toronto, Puerto Rico, New York, Boston. Now I'm back here and I feel like even though it's only been a year, I feel like I've grown a lot as a person. I think that I view LA almost how I viewed college. My freshman year of school, I think, was one of the best years of my life. I viewed everything almost like naively, an ignorance is bliss type of situation. I thought everything was perfect and everything was amazing, and I didn't really see any downside to anything. And I'm so glad that I lived like that because it was it was like one of the most fun years ever. Like, I would not change anything about my freshman year at all. But then sophomore year I went back to school and I kind of saw things through like a more realistic and like critical perspective, and I saw a lot of the flaws in like colleges and college systems and a lot of the people. And I think that just kind of comes with getting older, being in something, going away from it for a while and then coming back. This summer, I think I viewed things with a lot more of like a realistic perspective, and I was thinking a lot more about where I want to be and who I want to be surrounding myself with and what I want to be doing. So I don't really know where to start with this video, and I don't really know where this video is going to go. Also, if you enjoy this video or like these types of videos, give me a thumbs up and let me know. And leave me a comment down below if you have any questions about LA, anything you want to talk about. Anyways, without further ado, let's talk about my summer in LA. So basically going into the summer, I knew that I wanted to either be in LA or in New York. Part of me wanted to live in New York because I knew that I lived in LA last summer, and I was pretty certain that after I graduated, I'm gonna move to LA. So like, why not spend a summer in New York and then I'll have done both. But then on the other side, I knew that because I wanted to move to LA, I was kind of nervous. I was like, well, what if I like go back for the summer and then I realize that I hate it and I don't want to go there? That probably would never have happened. But I was like, you know, the possibility exists. Like, what if I go back and I'm like, wait, I hate everything about this. Why did I move here? I just drove across the country with all of my stuff and I'm trapped here. But I knew I wanted to be in either New York or LA, so I applied to internships in both New York and LA. I ended up interviewing for a couple of internships in New York and a couple of internships in LA. And when it came down to it, I ended up accepting an internship at Viewpoint LA, which is a PR firm. It's located in Beverly Hills. They rep a lot of individual actors, so they rep like Zac Efron and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and like people like that, which is different from PR for movies. I didn't necessarily think I wanted to go into PR when I was older. When I was a freshman at school, actually, I took an intro to international relations class. I thought that international relations was international, like public relations, dealing with international celebrities and like movies and publicity and stuff like that. It's not. The first day they were like, let's talk about security, let's talk about economics. So I walked out of that class. PR is never something that like I was like, I need to do this. But it was always something where I was like, I feel like I would enjoy this and I feel like I would be good at this. So when I did get the opportunity to work at Viewpoint, I was super excited. So that internship that I landed was 2 days a week. It was Tuesday and Thursday, and it was unpaid. I was like getting credit through school for it, kind of. So I was living out here, paying for rent, paying to rent a car. So I was like, wow, I also really need a job. And I ended up with a job as a pool attendant at the Beverly Hills Hotel just for like 2 months. We will get into that. So that's what I was doing full-time. Once I started actually working at the hotel, I was working 6 to 7 days a week. I was only working 4 to 5 days there, but I was working 2 days at my internship. On top of that, I was trying to vlog every day, and then I was trying to upload like a sit-down video like this every Sunday, and I literally didn't upload one because I suck. Predominantly because I was working 6 to 7 days a week. Additionally, like I was like producing social media and editing for 2 other people. One of them was a company and one of them was an individual who hired me to edit his YouTube videos. I was spreading myself way too thin this summer, which is a theme of my life. I've done that forever. And so that's why I didn't really end up making that much content while I was out here, which I do regret. I knew that I was going to be working in Beverly Hills for my internship and Beverly Hills for my job. So I naturally gravitated towards college housing because with college housing, you can easily rent for like 2 months. So it's easy to find a sublease to live for 2 months and it's usually cheap. Looked at USC, but USC would have been like a 45-minute drive both directions. I would not be able to do that. I looked at UCLA and I ended up finding a bunch of sublets from my friend Cameron who went here, he graduated. So that's how I did that. I ended up subletting at UCLA for like 2 months exactly. For the first month I was out here, I was living with my friend Hayden because one of her roommates was traveling in Canada. Shout out to Chris for letting me stay in your room. Like it was so life-saving that you let me stay there. So I was living in West Hollywood for like a month, the first month I was here. And it was amazing, I loved it. Best location ever. I love West Hollywood so much. Pretty much like July 1st, I moved into this apartment at UCLA. An off-campus apartment complex. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's a fucking disgusting building. I will never complain about living at Tufts again. I genuinely think the LA subway station is cleaner than this apartment. I went to the bathroom one time and I killed 9 bugs in one trip to the bathroom. That being said, I knew I was only here for 2 months and it just worked out nicely and it's a great location, so I spent a lot of my time elsewhere in a friend's apartment. But it was super close to my job and that was super great. Airbnb was so expensive when I looked at Airbnb. I'm very hesitant to ever use Craigslist, especially with something like housing. Like if I were in LA already and I were looking at Craigslist housing, like it would be so easy because you would go meet them in person and you would see what it looks like in person. From New York, it's a lot of transfer me this money even though you've never seen me in person and you've never met me in person. It's a little sketchy, and even this was a little bit sketchy. College sublet housing is super great and cheap and accessible. Like I actually really enjoyed Westwood. This is a super cool area. I never really spent time over here, and I do like the location. It's like 20 minutes to Santa Monica, 20 minutes to Venice, 20 minutes to West Hollywood. That's another thing that nobody gets, but until you come to LA, you don't understand how big LA is. Everything is so spread out and it is so impossible to get around here without driving. Like whether you have a car or whether you Uber everywhere, you cannot get around. In LA, you can drive from Westwood and it can take you half an hour to get to Beverly Hills, which is like 2.5 miles away. Or you can drive to downtown, which is like 18 miles away. Depending on the time of day, it could take an hour and a half or it could take like 17 minutes. Oh, so I was renting a car from this place called Super Cheap Car Rentals. It really wasn't that cheap and it really wasn't that super. I only felt like I was gonna die like twice because the brakes were kind of shoddy. But also a really good life hack that no one really knows about because nobody checks their email nowadays. Or if you live in any city, Uber offers this thing called Ride Pass and Lyft does it too actually. And they send you an email and they're like, hey, like we're gonna offer you this Ride Pass. And basically what that means is you pay them $15. The one I got was $15. And then for the entire like month, for 28 days, every Uber you get is $7 and every Uber pool is $5. Even with my car, like I still use it quite a bit. Like I still Uber every time I want to go out. And it's telling me that I have already saved $250 and my average ride cost is $6.20. So that's a really good life hack. So check your email and if they offer you a ride pass, it's a really good deal in my opinion. Even if you don't use it that much, like you can let your friends use your Uber. Like Andy let me use his Uber for a while. Why spend more than you have to, ever? So on to what you actually all care about. Let's talk about nightlife and friends and drinking. What it's like living in LA. LA is great, but LA is also the worst. I have never felt so surrounded by so many people, but so isolated at the same time. Like I said, I lived here last summer and I had a bunch of people that I considered good friends. Like there's no shade. Like we got along really well last summer and I was really excited to come back and see them this summer. And a lot of the people that I was excited to see, like I would reach out and I would just like hear nothing or like, haha, love you. And like you would never see them. And a lot of the people that I thought I like could count on this summer and I thought that were my friends, there were people that I didn't see once and there were people that I saw literally once. I've learned not to take it personally because I know that it's not anything personal. It's just very different than what I've grown up with. And in LA, like you don't have to see everybody. Like there are still times where you run into everyone, even especially when you don't want to see them. It's really difficult to keep in contact with people here. Like I've learned not to take it personally, but at the same time, like it's really hard not to take it personally. I guess it's just like the seasons changed and so did they, and I was gone and they forgot about me or something. I don't really know and I don't really care. And I think that abroad helped me with not caring because like when you're abroad, in another country alone, you're forced to kind of like be okay with being alone. Wow, this is getting really sad really fast. I promise I'm not that sad, it just like sounds sad. Basically what I'm trying to say is, if you come to LA, you need to find the people who you can count on, who are reliable, who are real, who are like true friends and who are like party friends. Because there's nothing wrong with having party friends. And I've learned that more and more throughout school and throughout my time in LA. It's fun to go out with them and you text them and you say like, what are you doing tonight? And you go out and you get drunk and you have fun and you never see them otherwise. And you never talk about anything like stimulating, and it's like kind of exhausting. I'm like thinking it back and I'm like, did that make sense? Yeah, you have the people who like are like true friends, and then you have the people who just don't actually really care about you. Which is very true anywhere. Like those friends exist in every circle. You have them at school, you have them at home. It's just like a higher concentration in LA. Oh my God, I sound so cynical. I promise I'm not that cynical.
Hi Erin, I just wanted to ask, like, what was your favorite memory from living in LA this summer? Love you.
You're so cute. I'll get to that. I promise I'll get to that. Additionally, I feel like in LA especially, there's a lot of competition, especially with numbers. And I think again, this is because a lot of my friends last summer were social media people, and I've learned this summer that a lot of the people who are gonna keep it real and keep like be there for you are not social media people, which sounds so bad. I also feel like in LA there's just so much competition. Again, very, very social media world heavy, but I feel like, and gay world heavy. The gay world is so competitive and so toxic. I feel like a lot of people are like, they don't want to see you succeed. I feel like a lot of people waste so much time caring more about what other people are doing than what they're doing. I feel like the people who are totally killing it are just kind of like above it and beyond it and like don't care. And then the people who are still trying to like fight their way up don't really want to see anyone, like they don't want to see anyone else succeed. I think I just threw my back out from burping. Who am I? Another thing that I learned this summer about LA, that there's always stuff going on. So this is something that's new to me because I just turned 21 and I wasn't able to go out last summer. I'd never been to a club until I went to Barcelona, and I'd never been clubbing in LA. And the first time I went to a club in LA was One Oak, and I got too drunk and I fell down the staircase. But what I learned about clubbing is it's really easy to fall into like the dark hole of clubbing. So you can go out every single night in LA. There is always gonna be stuff happening. There's always stuff going on. And like in the beginning, I would have serious FOMO. I would be like, oh my God, like I need to go to this event because like I can't miss it. Like I have to go out tonight because like this one friend is going out. And I realized as the summer progressed, it's like nobody in LA cares if you go out. Nobody in LA cares if you go to the event. And it's really important that you have time to yourself where you lay in bed and eat coconut milk ice cream and watch Gossip Girl. Have nights where you go out and you're sober. Like sometimes those are literally the most fun nights ever. If you're going out at all, you need to be in a good mindset. You need to be with good people. You need to be doing fun things. Like don't waste your time doing dumb shit. And like that's another realization that I came to kind of towards the end of the summer. I was presented with the opportunity this past weekend to go to Utah, literally for like 36 hours. And I was like, oh, like, that's gonna be so much driving, trekking back and forth, and like, do I wanna do that? My last weekend in LA, like maybe I should just stay here and see people. I was like hit with the realization that it's like, if I stay in LA, I'm gonna drink alcohol and dance a little bit and then go to bed and then wake up and feel like crap. Whereas I can't do an amazing hike. I can't like bond with really cool people in really unique ways and like chase the solar eclipse. Like that's like a very rare occurrence. I'm really happy that I ended up going to Utah, even though it was a lot of driving and really exhausting, and I'm still really exhausted. This summer just really went by so fast. And until this weekend, when I went to Utah, I had not left LA once all summer. I got to go to really cool events. Taylor, my friend at Melrose Park, Taylor hooked it up this summer. We got to go to a lot of cool stuff together, and those were some of the most fun nights. There was this one night where Andy and I went to an event in Hollywood Hills where Dermablend Pro, which is like a makeup brand, rented out like a multi-million-dollar mansion, and it was just like, that was a fun party. And then from there, we went with Caitlin and Taylor to a different party, and Cammie. And we went to a different party on the rooftop of the London, and we like finessed our way into this party. And it was like slumber party themed. We like got onesies and we got our nails done, and they like did our hair. There was like a giant bed filled with money, and like that was one of like that was in the beginning too. That was one of the most fun nights I had. I went to the Teen Choice Awards, I went to BeautyCon, I went to VidCon, I went to Matt Bomer's red carpet premiere, I went to the Television Critic Awards guild thing. Everything that I got to do with like real celebrities versus like YouTube stuff was because of my internship. People were like, how did you do this? Like, oh my God, like you're not even relevant on YouTube. I know I'm not relevant enough to get invited to the Teen Choice Awards. And I got to do so much cool stuff with them. them. Like they took me to the Teen Choice Awards with the cast of Riverdale, and I was backstage in the holding room with literally everyone. I was next to Fifth Harmony, I was next to Zendaya, I was next to like Vanessa Hudgens. I was with the entire cast of Teen Wolf except for Dylan O'Brien because I'd probably been crying. I went to dinner with like Matt Bomer and Zachary Quinto for his premiere for The Last Tycoon. What it's like living in LA. A tell-all. A memoir. I also met James Corden. I forgot about that. I went to a backstage taping with James Corden and freaking Kate Mara, and I met Iggy Azalea, and it was wild, and he was so cool, and I love James Corden. Okay, sorry. But then when I did get to do things, I was so excited about it, and I appreciated it so much more because I like didn't expect it. And that was again just on me, like to have the mindset of like don't expect anything, because like you as an intern, like you didn't earn anything. Like it's a privilege to get to go to stuff like that. Like it doesn't mean that you don't deserve to go to anything, but you shouldn't expect it. When you vlog down the street in LA, like nobody cares, nobody even flinches. Like you can ask anybody on the street, will you take an Instagram of me? And they'll take like 57 pictures for you and be like, hope you got one, girl, like good luck, go edit on Visco, haha, use that Facetune. Nowhere else in the world is like that. What is your least favorite part about living in LA? I mean, I want to say the traffic, but the traffic isn't even really that bad. Like I'm used to it now. I just wish that everybody would just get over themselves a little bit here. And given like I have those moments where I'm like, oh, like I'm great, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of people like look down on other people here. And like I'm not about it. LA is not as expensive as you think it is. There are ways to do it really cheaply, and there are ways to do it really lavishly. You don't have to live in a room by yourself. You can split a room with one of your best friends and pay half the rent. There are so many ways to make it work in LA if that's where you really want to be and that's like what you want to do. Like anybody can live here. That's not true. Not anybody can live here. Social and wealth stratification is really real in the world. That's also another thing that I don't really like about LA. I think that a lot of people in LA get very stuck up in their bubbles and they forget how big the world is. Like I know people who have lived here for years and have never driven down Skid Row. I was driving to a photo shoot with Hayden and we had to drive through Skid Row. I was still like shook to my core by it. How is this just like not addressed at all? And I think that again is just a problem more so with America than with LA. Alright, so the last thing that I really want to talk about, I'm not really going to talk about that much, but I didn't really talk about working at the Beverly Hills Hotel at all. I'm really like a little bit nervous with them. Like I signed like a social media agreement thing, and I'm pretty sure, like I don't even remember what it said. I think it was just like, I will not slander online. Like I realize that I'm representing them, which just makes sense. But as a whole, as an organization, I think what they do is great. A lot of people who work at the Beverly Hills Hotel are doing that as their career. Props to them. Like they take care of their employees. They do. Like it's a hotel job. Like you can work in housekeeping, but you can have health insurance, like you get paid benefits, you get time off. So I do value that in a corporation. Like I think that they're doing a great job. That being said, I worked down by the pool. It felt almost like something that I would be doing when I was like 16, 17. And I don't think that I would do it again. There were a lot of pros and cons to that job. And while there were a lot of cool things, there were also a lot of negative things that I just really didn't agree with. I don't think I would have lasted there as an employee if I were meant to be there for longer than 2 months. And I think that that has more to do with me than with the hotel itself. That's all I really want to say about that, I think. I know it's vague. Also, as I'm sure you're all wondering, like I did see a lot of celebrities there. I'm not going to talk about anybody who's staying in the hotel because that is against hotel policy. I cannot address them. There were a couple people who I saw in the cafe, which is like next to the pool. Lana Del Rey was there, and Emma Roberts came in because she always comes in. I was not really that like excited by it. That's not true. I was sitting in the corner like throwing up. I was like, oh my god, like Kim Kardashian sitting over there. But I never really like wanted to talk to them, and I think that's because I was working in like a service job, and there's nothing wrong with service jobs, but I feel like me going up to them and being like, oh my god, like I love your music, like I love your TV show. They're not really seeing me as a person. Like they're seeing me as like a waiter, or they're seeing me as someone like who is there to like serve them. Again, I think that was more on me. Like I'm not trying to say that any celebrity was like that, but I was just like, like I didn't really get that much out of it. But I did meet a lot of cool people. I think I covered all my bases. So that's it. That's all I had to say. That's all I got. 3 hours later. I hope you enjoyed this. Maybe you watched the whole thing. Maybe you didn't. Let me know in the comments. Also, if you have any questions about anything, please ask them in the comments and I will respond to them. That is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That is it for my summer in LA. I'm about to go to bed and then I'm gonna wake up and leave. It's been real. Can't believe how fast it went by. It flew by. Yeah, and I guess you'll have to stay tuned to see if I move back here after graduation. Love you all. Remember to subscribe, and I will see you guys very soon. All right. Bye.
over, let's party.